The situation that you are observing in your country and your world is a part of an ongoing and deep purification of the energy on the earth. The earth is shifting to a new dimension from being a cesspool pain where energies who are in pain come to see their inner pain outpictured, that it might be healed, that they might be purified. This has been the role of the earth in the broader universe's progression. The earth has fulfilled this role quite adequately, as it has been a place where individuals and groups come when they are in error, when they believe themselves to be separate from God and separate from each other, separate from love and from love's embrace. They come to the earth, and this separation is then shown to them in the dramas that they experience. Now their souls know better, their eternal selves know better. But for the purpose of purification, these beings and energies come to the earth to play out their savage fantasies, to see the destructiveness and the error of those savage fantasies, and to call forth the light of God to heal, correct, transform, and transmute the discordant energies caused by the error of thinking that caused them to believe themselves to be separate from God and separate from love. In other words, beings come to the earth feeling separate, feeling inadequate, feeling sinful, feeling unloved, feeling unloving. And they act out these feelings, causing pain until the pain they cause and the pain they experience is too unbearable. And then they call out, for they know on the level of their eternal selves, there must be a better way. This is no way to live. And they then call out for the light of God, for that has been their purpose, to come to the earth, to receive the light of God, to receive the healing of God, to allow God to transform and transmute discordant energies based on erroneous ideas, so that their purification is complete and the hell they experience is traded in for the heaven that is God's blessing. So, given that backdrop of what the earth has represented until today, you see this. You see the insanity of human egos believing they are separate from each other. And humans are seeing this insanity now as well. Now, in your current domestic situation in your country, this shows up in a myriad of ways. We will offer examples. The farmers who voted for a candidate whose decisions and policies now cause them financial ruin. thought they were voting for the candidate because of others that they disdained. And they did not believe that the policies would hurt them, for they believed themselves to be separate from the others. What they are realizing and what humanity is realizing is that all are one. What is done to one is done to all. Now, the current focal point is the murder of a certain political activist who made a career
Mhm.
of division, made a career of what humans might call otherizing and bullying and causing pain to others and believing in separation and supremacy and all of the nonsense of the ego. And this being and the ways that this being stoked division and caused pain and hatred, and the way this being brought to the surface energies of separation in order that they might be healed has always been part of a divine plan. For when this being's teachings and speakings and writings are exposed, it exposes these feelings that many have had, and the pain that they have caused becomes equally apparent. And a healing then occurs.
Okay.
What many see is that the violence and hatred that this being espoused, in human terms, boomeranged as he became a victim of that same culture of violence and hatred and destruction. And this crystallizes to some degree a lesson that what you do to others, you do to self, for you are all one. Now, we do not judge this being or this process or anything that ensues, for there is no judgment in observing the process of healing and transformation. However, this brings out the destructive nature of the error of separation, for all are one. For example, this being discounted the idea of empathy. Yet, many call for empathy for this being and the being's family and the situation. Is there not a healing in the awareness that has been exposed that the lack of empathy, that there is a need for empathy for all, and that all are one, for all are human, and all walk the same earth? There is a healing in this, for the error of withholding empathy is exposed. The this being espoused great support for unfettered, the unfettered use of firearms, you call them firearms, that are
Mhm.
often tools of destruction. Yet, these same firearms, these tools of destruction, destroyed this being's body. And there is a teaching, a learning in that this being as a soul chose to offer to the earth. How destructive is the consciousness of separation, for ultimately we are all one. This is what the being teaches. This is what the earth learns. And even though there are those who would attempt to perpetuate the idea of separation by amplifying the discord caused by this being's passing, there are many who are now ready to, in human terms, hang up their cleats of hatred, for they see how destructive hatred can be. So there is ultimately a healing in this process, for in pain, many call out for God. Now, those in pain who have espoused the being's beliefs are calling out for the light of God. Those in pain because of the being's beliefs are calling out for the light of God. And we would explain. There are many who feel hurt, victimized, or marginalized, who may have feelings about this being and his passing. There is pain in these beings as well that must be recognized. And on many levels, this pain that comes up, the light of God receives it. So beings who found this young man to be odious, destructive, they have pain. They feel victimized. They feel marginalized. They feel to be the recipients of this being's oratorical violence. And this pain must also be healed. So we ask all of these beings to ask themselves, what pain is triggered within you? Where have you felt marginalized, diminished, victimized, or brutalized by this being's actions, words, points of view? And ask the light of God to heal you of this pain and cause you to remember your wholeness, your holiness, and your divinity, because you are the light of God and nothing else and nothing less. No matter how this being has appeared to have marginalized you or victimized you with his words, writings, actions, and points of view. So there is a healing for all who are ready to take it. And this is part of the healing that brings the earth to its next dimension, where it is no longer a place where discordant energies come to heal, but where it is a place where harmonious energies are amplified in joy. In other words, the earth is being turned from hell into heaven on earth. And this purification is a part of it, for it exposes that which has caused the earth to be hellish, heals that which has caused the earth to be hellish, and opens the earth to its next experience of heaven instead of hell. And this is how we would answer that question.